What's up, folks? Welcome back to another Wednesday gameplay video. Tonight we are going to be reviewing none other than Pacific Novelty's 1981 release of Thief. Now, Pacific Novelty is a company that is not super well known in the coin-op industry. They started around 1980. I believe they had 7, maybe 8 machines in the arcade industry. I know they also dabbled with different coin-op machinery, including like a photo booth that was highlighted for printing out black and white photos that were kind of like a computer-generated digitized photo, which is a little odd because at the time we had full-color photographs that were much more high quality, but it was cool. They sold it. It was technology at the time, and people just ate it up. So Pacific Novelty, again, few games that people might recognize are going to be Shark Attack, which you will see pop up from time to time in collectors' hands. Super cool game. You also have Mr. F. Lee. I think I'm pronouncing that right. That's another one that you hear about more than you see, or at least that's the case for me. You have NATO Defense, which is probably as recognizable as a Thief, as far as how often it pops up, how often you hear about it. But in my mind, Thief takes it as far as both gameplay, overall looks, design. It's just a super cool, I mean, this is an awesome looking cabinet. Look at this bad boy. It doesn't get much prettier than that Merlot red. I did a full review on this machine, hard copy, old school style, kind of like EGM magazine or Next Gen magazine, if you remember those magazines from the 80s and 90s. I will put a link to that so you guys can check it out. It is a very, very old school format, but I think it's a pretty neat review, so you might get a kick out of it. But Thief in general, just an awesome, fun game. An absolute Pac-Man clone, as I talked quite a bit about in that review, but hands down the best Pac-Man clone. Now, if this is your very first video that you guys are watching, or you guys are regulars to the channel and catch all of our newest releases, I want to first and foremost say thank you. We appreciate it. It does not go unnoticed. But I am going to ask that you guys click that subscribe button, and I appreciate it if you like the video. Go ahead and hit the like button too. So I wanted to let you guys know we have got a massive promotion going on right now on YouTube called the 500 subscriber giveaway. We are going to be giving away a brand new Super Nintendo Entertainment System Classic to one lucky subscriber. And it's a drawing that's going to take place on May 1st, which I believe is a Wednesday. So please check that out. Be sure to subscribe. Check out the details for making sure that you get entered appropriately inside of this promotion. So again, Thief, here we go. Now, Thief also had some really unique technology for the time. So instead of trying to introduce digitized, computer created voice with only utilizing several words and trying to put sentences together, Pacific Novelty was like, hell no, we're going to make ours unique. It's going to stand out. People are going to notice it when they're playing beside this machine. And what they did is they took a cassette player, like a Deco cassette player, and they recorded Police Banter on this, and they play it in a looped format on the machine. So basically you have it paired with the CPU sounds. So in Thief you have the collection of the dollar signs, or dollar bills rather, which make a specific sound. You have the crashing sound when you get hit by the police. Those are all computer generated. But then the Police Banter in the back is legitimately from a cassette that you could pull out and put in your old Ghetto Blaster boombox and play it. So on mine, it is an old tape, and it shows. So you'll notice at the beginning, usually you'll hear a little bit of feedback, actually quite a bit of feedback, and then it kind of settles down as the game gets going. But basically, pulses were sent from the CPU to let the cassette player know when to kick on and when to shut off. So again, that's very noticeable throughout, and it's kind of poking fun at you the whole time that you're playing it. Very, very cool stuff. So we will get into that in just 1 second, but before, I thought I would just show you a brief view of a pickup that we made just recently. The house is actually getting packed quite full of machines, but we are going to make some quick transitions and quick turnarounds here. So, quick span of the game room. We just got this. My son and his Babo made that just recently. So that's the Goro, and we've got Scorpion up top. I thought those were looking pretty sharp next to each other. So, and of course, we've got our Mortal Kombats. We've got Carnival, shotguns. Things are going pretty good in here. So let's take a quick look at some of the machines that we've picked up most recently. So what you're looking at right here is a Miss Pac-Man Cabaret. We grabbed this local just a couple days ago, and we are going to be making a trade with this Miss Pac-Man. It's in good shape. The cabarets are definitely a collector's item. It's got the nice full wood grain. Everything is pretty solid. A little bit of scuffs on the bottom, pretty typical for most arcade machines of this era. Somebody can replace the CPO with a new one. That'd be pretty simple. Factory joystick, factory buttons, monitor, the whole 9 yards. But we are going to be trading this machine right here for a couple of pretty rare games. And I'm not going to tell you what they are, because they are going to be nice surprises when we get them and start working on them. Of course, we also still have the Tubin, and that is actually coming along pretty good. We've still got some little things to do, but if you were keeping touch in our Facebook posts, you probably noticed I sent out a bunch of pre and post cleanup pics, and it cleaned up very, very well. So little things like those screws, we've got to take those out, set them in, do some woodwork, but their Tubin is, like I said, cleaning up very, very nicely. So we're pretty pumped about that. But I got to get these machines out of here. We have got to clean up the house. We've got too much. We got too much in the storage unit. We got to start moving some of these machines to some folks' places. I know there are a lot of people in our family and friends circles that are going to be wanting these. So we're going to be moving them about. We're going to be bringing new games in. A lot of cool stuff for you guys to see in upcoming weeks and months. So it is our Wednesday gameplay review, and we are doing it Thief style. Alright, let's get some gameplay video of Thief. So I have wired this up so that when I hit the player 2 start button, it will put a single credit in, and then you can push player 1 to start. And if it was a 2-player game, you'd hit player 2 again, and you'd start a 2-player game. So let's go ahead and coin it up. And let's start. You'll hear this feedback to start the game, usually.
Oh, nice playing, dog drool.
That wasn't too bad, actually.
Dispatch, this is car 2 in hot pursuit of sedan. Request assistance.
Now, I recently...
What is your location, car
rebuilt...
2?
Whoa! Oof. I recently rebuilt the Wicco joystick. The grommet was completely blown out. When I visit Fun Spot, that's the first thing I notice is the grommet. It's just terrible. So you can see it's very similar to a Pac-Man. in regards to
This is car 2.
the
Thief is doubled back and is
basically
coming
the
at
dollar
us.
signs are kind of like your power pellet, and you get points for running in to the police. But basically, you're a thief, and you're just trying to collect all the cash that you can without getting busted. You can hear some of that feedback in the cassette player. I am in the process of probably going to transition this to a MP3 player, which I know quite a few folks on the forums have done. Boy, I am not doing well. Now, in Pac-Man, you probably remember, after you get to 10,000, you get a free man. Well, with Thief, which I believe I have it set on Twin Galaxy settings, every 10,000 you get an extra man. And that makes a giant difference. Damn it. I am really not doing well.
Have a multiple car accident on Galavan. Officer down. Code 3. You must stop the thief.
And see, unlike Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man, the maze lots of times is not just singular in that there's one path. You have to kind of go back and forth to collect everything that's needed. Like you get these open areas, and the open areas later on become extremely difficult. And there's certain types of traps. You'll notice, like, first thing about this level that I remember is that you have no tunnels. And I guess that happens on a regular basis. I think I've only gotten to about 50,000 in this game. I'll be honest, I have not put too much time into it. I played it quite a bit when I was writing the review, and I started getting into it, and then we had so much stuff going on, so many new games coming in that needed attention. Again, that was really bad. You can really hear that feedback.
69.
Now, when I first picked this up, it wasn't, the cassette player wasn't working or functioning at all. And I had to mess around with both the cassette, the tape, I think some of the power supply, little things. The PCB board wasn't, the PCB was functioning. It was the chassis that was all out of whack. So we basically rebuilt that. But since I've got it running, other than the cassette, this has been a very solid game.
Okay, men, he's still out there. Let's be on the lookout. We can't let him out of the city. Car 6, there's a disturbance at 521 Olive. See the man.
I don't know if there's any patterns for this game. I would assume that people have figured out little stuff here and there that really helps. I certainly have not. So again, the crash sound, the collection of the money, all of that stuff is all those sounds are computer generated. The police banter is coming from the tape. And you can hear it stopping and starting.
Roger, dispatch. All units. Thief is only 2 blocks from station. Close in. Everyone stay in tight. Don't let the thief get away.
I would normally go after him, but I haven't been doing that well, so I shouldn't push my luck. The other cool thing is that with level progression, basically you're trying to kind of like, you're creating an empire. And so you go from like loitering to bank robber to, I think public enemy number 1 is one of them. But that's the whole goal is to get, you know, progress through the levels, increase your notoriety, which I thought was all cool, because if you think about it, Pac-Man was kind of a... Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, you know, there was a character, but there wasn't so much of a story. And I think that that's one of the things that the folks at Pacific Novelty that made this game, they really thought about when they were creating it.
You're the one. Men, serious problem. One thief is eluding the entire fort. We must stop this thief. Why not take up a collection and send him to Cleveland? Who said that? Who said that? Oh no, he's done it again. Calling all cars, calling all cars. The thief has just knocked over the bank on 42nd Avenue. All units proceed to the cars. Robbery in progress at bank code 3. Any units in vicinity
Doing a lot better this game. I was doing a lot better. So you can see at 20,000 we're going to get our next car, next man.
Suspect in progress. Suspect proceeding on Sunset. Chase in...
Damn it. Let's see if we can't put up one more good one for you guys.
Car 5 and Car 9 assist in chase. Pretty good playing.
And you can see...
He's doubled back and he's coming at it. Car 6, look out.
The audio is taunting you the whole
Officer in
time.
trouble at Castle and Panway. All units assist. Calling all cars. Jewel robbery in progress at Doheny and Braxton. The thief has struck again. 504 in progress. Use caution. Dispatch, this is Car 8. I've spotted the thief heading north on Washington. I'm in pursuit. Be careful, Car 8. 6. All units in vicinity of Washington and Lincoln, be on the lookout for the thief. The dispatch, this is Car 1. I see the suspect turning into Delavan Drive.
Just listen to that audio. I mean, that back in 1981 would have gotten a lot of attention. It would have turned a lot of heads.
Dispatch.
I've got a lot of respect for the folks at Pacific Novelty. They're not helping me play right now, but I got a lot of respect for them.
We have a multiple car accident on Delavan. Officer down. Code 3. You must stop the thief. We've lost him. All cars be on the lookout for the thief driving a late...
Crime doesn't pay, and neither does my gameplay. So, again, Thief, Pacific Novelty, 1981, an absolute classic game. This one's in super great condition. I'm super lucky to have this in the collection, and I can't wait to share it with folks when we get our arcade up and running. So, again, thank you very much for subscribing, for being here, for watching the video through. Take care. Thanks a bunch.